Hi everybody. I wanted to go over the steps necessary to do linear regression. So this particular problem is a very long one, but in general, if you follow the steps I'm about to do, you should usually have everything you need to do any of these problems. So you can do these steps for the data and then just go through all of the parts of the problem and answer based on the work you've done. So to get started, I viewed the data right here. I opened it in Excel and then I enabled editing in Excel. Now that I have the data ready to play with, I'm going to go ahead and make a scatter diagram. So a scatter diagram will tell me whether or not my data looks linear in the first place. So let's insert and then charts and a scatter. All right, that looks mildly linear. It seems to be arcing upwards, so that might be an indication that it's not really a linear pattern. If I look over in the homework, I can see that it matches D. Okay, the next thing I need is my residuals, residual plots, and all the information I need to make the line. So for that, I need to go to Data and Data Analysis. This is an add-on that you should have already downloaded during the class. So I'm going to go to Regression, hit OK, input my Y's, and input my X's. I'm going to go all the way down to output range and say that I want it to show up on the same page so I can see everything together. And then lastly, I'm going to click on residuals and residual plots so that I can see everything all together. Okay. So now I've got all my summary output down here, and somewhere there should be residual plots. Let's get over right here. So this is the plot of my residual. I can see already that looks like a distinct pattern. Looks like an inverse parabola. That's bad. I don't want a pattern on these. So let's look at the problem again. And it says, determine the correlation between distance and side real year. So the correlation would be found right here in multiple R. So you can see it matches this number. Does this imply linear correlation? Yes. The best we can possibly have is 1 or -1, and this is very nearly 1. Now compute the least square regression line. So that would be found down here, these two numbers. You can see this one is already titled intercept. So if you look over on our y equals mx plus b, the intercept is right here. It matches this number. Our x variable is our slope. If you look over on our y equals mx plus b, you can see our slope matches this number if we round it. The residual plots, that would be the plot we already made. And I can see it's an inverse parabola, and this is the inverse parabola. And then finally, do you think the least squares regression line is a good model? And I would say no, because this has a distinct pattern. Patterns are bad. Okay, so that would be, in general, how you would complete a least squares regression line in Excel. That should give you nearly everything you need. The one thing this question didn't ask us for is the R squared value, and I want to point out the R squared value is right here. So this is the R value for correlation. This is the R squared value that tells us how much of the data fits our line, or how well the data fits our line. All right, I hope that helps.